Hello and welcome back, my friend. I have to admit, during my research for the previous video, 10 bizarre and supernatural Japanese yokai, I was utterly captivated by the sheer abundance of yokai in Japanese folklore. It's truly mind-boggling. There are so many of them that counting seems almost impossible. It feels like the Japanese imagination has conjured the yokai for practically every facet of life. That's why I've returned to delve into this remarkable topic once more, eager to share with you another 10 yokai that are equally as peculiar and captivating. Welcome to the Bizarre and Supernatural Volume 2, and let's kickstart with Shirime. A rather peculiar yokai in Japanese folklore is a creature that certainly leaves impression with its unusual appearance and behavior. This creature can best be described as an unsettling amalgamation of the human anatomy and the supernatural. It features a grotesque eyeball embedded right in the center of a human buttock. Its single bloodshot eye peers out from the fleshy, rounded surface, creating a startling and discomforting image. The specific origin and first appearance of Shirime in Japanese folklore are not well documented. Yokai like Shirime have been a part of Japanese folklore for centuries, with their stories passed down through oral traditions and written accounts over time. These creatures often emerge from a combination of cultural beliefs, superstitions, and human imagination. In terms of behavior, Shirime is known for its voyeuristic tendencies. This strange entity delights in spying on unsuspecting individuals, often leading to a sudden paranormal sensation for those who realize they are being watched. Its actions can provoke both fear and discomfort in those who encounter it, as the invasion of personal privacy is a central theme in its lore. Shirime is typically characterized as a creepy and unsettling presence in Japanese folklore, with its invasive nature and bizarre appearance making it more disturbing than comforting. Karakasa Obake is a delightful and peculiar figure in Japanese folklore, belonging to the captivating category of tsukomogami. These supernatural beings originate from inanimate objects that come to life after a century of existence, gaining supernatural qualities along the way. Karakasa Obake takes the form of an old, one-legged umbrella that has reached its 100th year. At the top of the umbrella, where one would typically find a handle, Karakasa Obake boasts a single large eye that glows with naughtiness. Its eye-catching feature adds the charm for this creature. Additionally, it sports a long, flexible tongue that it uses to lick or startle those it encounters. It takes great delight in hopping around, using its single leg to move and navigate its surroundings. It often surprises and amuses people with its animated movements, appearing unexpectedly in various settings. While it enjoys playful tricks and antics, it rarely causes harm, making it more endearing than frightening. Its presence often brings laughter and amusement, rather than fear. Another famous tsukomogami on our list is Chochin Obake. It emerges from an aging paper lantern, known as Chochin. As the lantern grows older, its paper begins to split along the wooden ribs, creating a startling transformation. This eerie yokai features a wide, gaping mouth with a wild, lolling tongue. One or two eyes protrude from the upper section of the lantern, giving it a distinct and unsettling appearance. Much like the Karakasa Kozo, Chochin Obake tend to avoid causing physical harm and instead find joy in startling and frightening humans. They amuse themselves by cackling and rolling their oversized tongues and large eyes when encountered in homes. However, it's essential not to dismiss them too lightly. There have been instances where powerful onryo, malevolent spirits seeking revenge, have concealed themselves as Chochin Obake, demonstrating how even the seemingly harmless can harbor hidden dangers. Another yokai on our list is Kamakiri, a mysterious entity that often takes on the form of a diminutive shadowy figure. This unsettling figure is often depicted clutching sharp scissors or shears, its eyes gleaming with enigmatic malevolence. It haunts the dark corners of houses, an unseen spectre that strikes fear into the hearts of those who dare to glimpse it. While the origins of Kamakiri remain obscured in the mists of time, it is commonly associated with the superstitions and apprehensions surrounding hair-cutting spirits. It's possible that this belief is connected to the ancient and widespread idea found in many cultures worldwide that hair holds an individual's strength and life force. The very idea of an otherworldly being that seeks to snip away at one's hair as they slumber is a notion that has fueled the collective imagination for generations. Under the veil of night, Kamakiri emerges from its hidden realm to infiltrate households. It moves with a stealthy grace, its actions guided by a singular, unsettling purpose: to surreptitiously sever the hair of sleeping individual. Those who awaken to find their locks mysteriously trimmed experience an overwhelming sense of dread and discomfort. The inexplicable compulsion to cut hair, coupled with its enigmatic appearance, made Kamakiri an excellent addition to our compendium of bizarre and supernatural. And I'm about to continue with my list, and there are still plenty of weird and spooky yokai waiting to be discovered. We have just scratched the surface, really. But before we move forward, allow me to kindly remind you, if you're finding this journey as intriguing as I am, please take a moment to show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel. Your support truly means a lot to me. And we continue with the ones which are not only bizarre, but also rather disturbing yokai on our list. Nuppeppo is a truly peculiar and unsettling creature in the world of Japanese folklore. Its appearance alone is enough to send shivers down one's spine. This spooky entity takes the form of a grotesque, otherworldly being with saggy, wrinkled skin that eerily resembles a lump of decaying flesh. Its putrid odor wafts from its form, adding to the ghastly atmosphere surrounding it. With its nightmarish visage, Nuppeppo embodies the very essence of the bizarre and supernatural. Often discovered in desolate or abandoned areas, Nuppeppo seems to thrive in places where the passage of time has left its mark. Its sudden appearance in these forsaken locations adds an air of foreboding to the already haunting narrative. While Nuppeppo's appearance may be appalling, its behavior contrasts sharply with its frightful exterior. Surprisingly, Nuppeppo is generally harmless and does not actively seek to inflict harm upon humans. Instead, it exists as a supernatural presence, captivating observers with its unsettling appearance and noxious odor. While it may not inspire fear in the same way as some other yokai, it leaves a lasting impression as a creature that challenges our perception of the bizarre and the inexplicable. True to their name, Hyakume are adorned with an abundance of blinking yellow eyes, covering their entire bodies. Beneath this myriad of eyes, they possess fleshy, roughly man-sized forms. When their eyes are closed, they resemble pink masses of flesh, making them nearly indistinguishable from Nuppeppo, which inhabits similar environments. Hyakume take up residence in ancient temples, abandoned homes, caves, and other dimly lit and secluded areas, serving as nocturnal guardians to deter potential intruders and thieves. Their many sensitive eyes are not well suited for daylight, so they remain hidden during the day, often in the dark and secluded structures, rarely visible by humans. These yokai are timid and typically avoid human contact. When a person comes within a short distance of Hyakume, one of its eyes detaches from its body and approaches the individual. The eye affixes itself to the person, remaining vigilant for any signs of criminal activity as long as the person remains in the area. Eventually, when the perceived danger subsides, the eye returns to the yokai. Hyakume resort to menacing display when they feel threatened, leaping out of the darkness to intimidate potential threats. While not inherently violent, they rely on their formidable size and terrifying appearance to frighten away humans. Ashiarai Yashiki originates from Japanese folklore as a mysterious occurrence rather than a tangible entity. It embodies beliefs and superstitions about the consequences of neglect. This eerie event is known to occur suddenly and unexpectedly in people's homes. It involves the manifestation of a colossal, filthy foot that descends from above, demanding to be washed. The foot is said to be larger than the entire house, leaving those who witness it in a state of shock and fear. Failure to comply with the food's demand can result in disastrous consequences, including misfortune and calamity. Ashiarai Yashiki is yet another spooky and unsettling occurrence within Japanese folklore, serving as a cautionary tale about the importance of maintaining and respecting one's living space. Dorotabo are typically found in neglected overgrown fields that have fallen into disuse. These ghostly entities are the spectral remnants of elderly men who spent their lives toiling in rice fields, only to witness their precious lands left to ruin by negligent owners after their passing. Dorotabo take on a one-eyed, three-fingered humanoid form that emerges from the muddy terrain under the cover of night. The symbolism of their appearance lies in the human hand's 5 fingers, which represent 3 vices and 2 virtues: anger, greed, ignorance, wisdom, and compassion. Dorotabo manifests with only the 3 fingers symbolizing vices, embodying a spirit of wrath and vengeance, fueled by anger at the ignorance and greed that have tarnished their life's work. Therefore, Dorotabo exists solely to seek vengeance. Dorotabo wanders through the overgrown fields, their mournful voices echoing a haunting refrain: "Give me back my rice field." After nightfall, they return to their abandoned lands, unsettling the new inhabitants and depriving them of sleep. These vengeful spirits persist in their haunting until the negligent landowners mend their ways, or in some cases are driven to sell the land to someone who will properly care for it. In Japan, arable land is a precious commodity due to the dominance of rugged mountainous terrain, rendering much of the land unsuitable for farming. Families may spend a lifetime saving to acquire even a small parcel of valuable farmland, intending to pass it down to their descendants. However, not all offsprings adhere to their parents' wishes. A wayward son who squanders his father's hard-earned fields in pursuit of vices like gambling and drinking may find a Dorotabo awaiting his return home, a stern reminder of the consequences of neglecting ancestral lands. Hitobashira refers to a disturbing practice that involved burying a living person in the foundation of significant structures such as bridges, dams, tunnels, and especially castles. This creepy tradition was prevalent from ancient times through the 16th century and surprisingly even persisted into the 20th century in some cases. The act of Hitobashira was believed to serve as supernatural safeguard for the construction. It was thought that sacrificing a human soul would appease the local nature spirits, especially river spirits in flood-prone areas. It was also employed to protect castles from various threats, including assaults, fire, and both natural and man-made disasters. Despite the literal translation of Hitobashira as a human pillar, its meaning is more intricate. It refers to the practice of enshrining a human in a manner akin to deity of the building, creating a connection between the individual and the gods. Small stone memorials were often erected in honor of those sacrificed individuals, serving as a testament to their role in the building's spiritual protection. A few famous castles around Japan are associated with Hitobashira legend. One of them is Maruoka Castle in Fukui Prefecture. During its construction, recurring collapses of the walls led to the decision to sacrifice a person to stabilize the castle. A poor, one-eyed woman named Ashizu was chosen and promised that her son would become a samurai in return for her sacrifice. However, the promise went unfulfilled, leading to a series of unfortunate events linked to her spirit, known as the Tears of Ashizu's Sorrow. A cenotaph was later erected within the castle's ground to appease her restless spirit. Mekurabe manifests as colossal piles of skulls and severed heads fixated on staring at people. It begins as a collection of individual skulls rolling ceaselessly. Over time, these skulls converge and coalesce into a massive mound that takes on the shape of a gigantic skull. Mekurabe are renowned for a single activity: engaging in staring contests with individuals. If you emerge victorious in this eerie contest, the skulls vanish without leaving a trace. However, the consequences of losing the staring contests remain unrecorded. The existence of Mekurabe is famously depicted in the tale of the Heike. The name Mekurabe was coined later during the Edo period. In a legendary account, Taira no Kiyomori, a young general who had recently conquered all of Japan, ventured into his garden one morning and was greeted by an uncountable number of skulls rolling about, all fixated on glaring at him. Surprised and alarmed, Kiyomori called for his guards, but his cries went unheard. As Kiyomori watched, the skulls gradually began to gather into the garden's center, forming a single colossal mass. These skulls clumped together, stacking atop one another until they assumed the shape of a gigantic skull approximately 45 meters in size. The enormous mound of skulls continued to glare at Kiyomori through countless eye sockets. Kiyomori took a deep breath and steeled himself, returning the gaze with unwavering determination. Finally, the colossal accumulation of skulls disintegrated. The skulls melted away like snowflakes in the sun, vanishing without a trace. And that wraps up our exploration of bizarre and supernatural for today. Hope you enjoyed it and look forward to seeing you next time. As usual, have a delightful nightmare.